This is One-on-One. There he is. Dan Lauria plays Gene Shepherd in A Christmas Story, the musical, at the Lunfontaine Theater. How you doing?
Great, great.
It's great.
I mean, me
having
in a
you.
musical, you know, that's...
Wait, why? Hold on.
I can't sing a note.
Wait a
See, you
minute.
think all us Italians can sing. We can't.
I know
I'm
this
proof.
Italian can't sing.
We got something in common there.
By the way, set this up for us. By the way, I know those of you watching right now, you do know that you recognize Dan from the Wonder Years way back. Played Lombardi. We were talking about before we got on the air. You loved that role.
Loved it. For an old jock to play Lombardi and the people we got to perform for, like I was telling you one night.
Set that up real quick.
One night.
I know, we'll talk about the play in a minute, but we got to do this.
No,
I'm sorry.
it all part of Broadway, you know. But to perform for Yogi, Hank Aaron, and Frank Robinson, they were all sitting next to each other. And there was a line in the play where Lombardi actually said, "We're going to be the Yankees of professional football." I said it right at Yogi, and he almost killed Hank Aaron. He was giving him the elbow in the ribs. And to have moments like that, and to see all those great icons come. And everybody had a story about Coach Lombardi. You know, they would talk for a minute and be something funny, and then they all ended up with a tear in their eye, you know. Look, 2 years before that, I played Hoffa. Nobody wanted to talk about anything, you know.
No, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Boy, you've had a heck of a career. Set this up for us now. How do they get you for this musical? What do they say? They say, let's get Dan. He can sing.
Well,
he's versatile.
You know, it's all because of personal contact. I'm working on a new TV show, Sullivan and Son, and Peter Billings.
That just got renewed.
Yes, we got picked up again. Thank God.
On TBS.
TBS Thursday nights. I'm sure it'll be next year. But the producer's Peter Billingsley, and Peter Billingsley was the original Ralphie in the movie A Christmas Story, and Peter's the producer of the play. So he called me, and he had seen Lombardi. That's how I got the job on the TV show. He and Vince Vaughn are partners. And they called me and said, "Do you want to be in the musical Christmas Story?" And I said, "Peter, I have the worst voice in the world. You know, I have a bad ear from the service." I said, "I don't even sound good in the shower." He said, "No, you'll be Gene Shepherd. You'll be the narrator." So I had to go from a Vince Lombardi voice, which is supposed to scare you when I say hello, to Gene Shepherd is supposed to make you sit at ease, you know. So it's a great, that's how it all evolved.
As we do this right now, it's your dinner hour, if you will.
Yeah.
You're in rehearsals right now?
Yeah, we're in rehearsal right now. Matter of fact, we move into the theater tomorrow.
It's interesting. We're doing this show. I've been saying for the last 2 days we were taping. We're right before the 2012 presidential election, which is not relevant to this. So you guys are opening on the 19th of November and have a long run on the Lunfontaine Theater.
You're right. We go from, we actually open for previews on November 5th at the Lunfontaine on 46th Street. And as of now, we're scheduled to close December 30th.
Let me ask you, I want to ask you a little bit about your background. Where'd you grow up?
Long Island, Lindenhurst.
Jet fan?
Jet and Giants. I hope I live long enough to see the Super Bowl when they both play each other. You know?
Same here.
Yeah.
When did you know that acting would be your professional life?
Well, I didn't do a play till my junior year in college, and then from
Where?
Southern Connecticut. And then I went into Marine Corps for 3 years. And after the Marine Corps, I said, you know what? If that didn't, between football and the Marine Corps, if that didn't kill me, the theater won't. So I went to UConn for my MFA in playwriting, actually.
In playwriting?
Yeah, I still dabble a little bit. You know, I like to write, and I love to work on new plays. The last line of my bio is I don't do plays by old dead white guys. There's so many good young writers out there that need an opportunity. So.
But growing up where you grew up and growing up as a jock, as you say, the theater piece of it, and also being Italian American. I know it may be an odd question, but I want to ask it anyway. Was this interest that you had supported by others around you?
Definitely. My Aunt Adele lived with us for a while, and I'd come home from practice and she'd say, "Go to bed early." And at 2 o'clock in the morning, she'd wake me up and go, "James Cagney." And we'd go down and watch the Late Late Show. So that was my first interest. And then in college, I remember my first play, I studied with a very famous woman, Miss Constance Welsh. And my father came up, he said, Dad, come up for the game, but stay, I'm in a play. He goes, what, you're in a play? And after the play was over, I said, what do you think? And he goes, I don't know anything about this stuff. And he went over and talked to Miss Welsh, in her 70s then. And he came back and he said, you know, the old lady thinks you're pretty good. Maybe you ought to stick with this. And I said, you really think so, Dad? And he says, well, if you work as hard in this as you do in football, you'll be all right.
It's about as good as it gets, right?
Yeah. And when you see the kids in our show, you know, Johnny Rabe and Zach Ballard, the young kids, all the kids, they dance, they sing. I'm the least talented person in the room, trust me. But that's what I tell these kids. If you're this far now, if this becomes your love, you're going to be okay.
These kids all come to you for advice?
Well, yeah, because I'm on record.
Looking at them right, we're just shot right there. They do come to you.
Well, yeah, we talk a lot, especially because of the Wonder Years. It's on Netflix now, so these kids are watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm on record when somebody asks me, what's the best thing you've ever done, or what are you most proud of, is that all the kids on the Wonder Years are doing great.
Talk about that, because that is so rare.
Yeah, Winnie Cooper, Danica McKellar, has written her 4th math book.
What?
Yes. And fourth math book.
Winnie Cooper.
Yes, and she's
So we all had
gorgeous.
a crush, who Kevin had a crush on.
Yes, and she's still stunning. And why they don't put her on a series and capitalize on this positive instead of the negative of some of these.
But hold on.
She's still acting, yeah. But she's a mathematical genius. Fred Savage is one of our leading directors of 3-camera. Josh Saviano, you know, the nerdy friend,
Sure.
Paulie, he became an entertainment lawyer, and he is the lawyer for Spider-Man. And Jason Hervey, the older son,
right.
He's one of the leading producers in reality shows. So the young kids in this show, when I talk about that. But you have to have a passion for what you do. Don't get involved with the drugs. My drug is acting. It always has been, always will be. I love it. I have a great time. The kids make fun of me because I can't sing, but I have fun with that. You know.
But I ask you, we'll go back to the play in a second, but I am curious about this. During the Wonder Years, when you were with that cast and it was happening and it was so incredibly popular,
yeah.
How did your life change?
Well, for me, it didn't, because I'm a character actor. There is no one thing that makes you. I was working a lot before the Wonder Years. I mean, I wasn't a household. I'm still not a household name, but when they see my face, they say the dad of the Wonder Years.
Yeah, but in and of itself, by being the dad on the Wonder Years, that didn't change your life?
No, but I was very fortunate because my mentor is Charles Durning, who's still with us. He's 89, and Jack Klugman, who's still with us, who's 91.
Right.
You know, and every time Charlie ever saw me in a play, he'd put his arm around me and he'd say, another 20 years, you'll be an actor. And then a few years ago, he saw me in a play. It was one of Jack Klugman's last plays. We were really good. And Charlie put his arm around me and he said, all right, another 10 years. So I've looked at him after all these years and I said, are you an actor yet? And the great Charles Durning said, I'm getting damn close. And that's what I try to teach the kids. Work for that perfection. You know, the play is never set.
So the whole thing, like, I want to get there.
There is no there.
Talk about that.
I mean, to have a goal that you can't possibly reach is the best thing in life. Because you're always striving. It's always the next show. It's always the next performance. You know, that's why I love the theater, because I know I'm going to screw up sometime. And the next night I get a chance to correct it. And then when things work perfect and you think, oh, it's set, that's when Charlie and Lombardi.
Exactly.
You're not there yet.
Yeah.
Perfection, perfection. Keeps right.
Real quick, I screwed up because after the show I'm gonna say I didn't give you enough of a chance to plug the Christmas Story, the musical. Set in Indiana in the 1940s. Ralphie is the boy. His Christmas wish is he wants a BB gun.
Yes.
Okay, plug it.
You know
Go
what
ahead.
the mother says?
She says,
you're gonna shoot your eye out.
you're gonna shoot.
You know what
your eye
Santa
out.
says? You're gonna shoot your eye out. And one of the greatest numbers in the play is you're gonna shoot your eye out. And Caroline O'Connor, she just brings down a house. Rings down the house. And we get this little kid, Luke, 9 years old, who won the Fred Astaire Award, where he has to duplicate a Fred Astaire routine. 9. He not only tap dances, he tap dances on his toes.
What?
I'm telling you, I'm the least talented guy in the room. I can't sing, I can't dance. These kids act, they dance.
Are you in awe of these kids?
Oh, totally in awe. I wish I had started that young, you know. So, but they like it that at the end of the play I can get everybody to cry a little, and so I bail out at the end.
And by the way, we just want to remind everyone that Dan is a narrator. Plug again. It's playing at the Lunfontaine Theater.
Lunfontaine Theater, A Christmas Story, the musical. We open November 5th for preview, close December 30th.
Before I let you out of here, I think I can just tell from just sitting across from you for a few minutes, you could have done a lot of different things. You chose to do this. It chose you. I don't know. Yeah. How fortunate do you feel that this has been the professional life you chose?
Oh, it's great. I couldn't, well, you know, we were talking about sports before. I'm still in the game. I'm not coaching on the sidelines or watching on TV. I'm still in the game. So to be my age at this stage of the game, to still be playing, great.
It's so funny. I often think the same thing, and I know it sounds like such a cliche and so corny, but behind you, I'm looking behind you. I don't know if it, Terry, tell me this. Behind Dan, I see the sign Broadway. Okay, is that actually in the real shot? Okay. In my wacky head, right? Mm-hmm. I'll never actually be on Broadway. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm in TV. Yeah. I'm on Broadway.
I'm on Broadway.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm in the game.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Dan Lauria. This is as good as it gets.
Isn't it? Aren't we fortunate?
So everybody should come.
I'm on TV with you.
Get out of here.
Two paisans. We're having a good time. We're talking about what we love to do.
Lombardi would have been proud.
I hope so.
I think he would have been.
I hope so. That was always my question.
Proud of you.
Yeah, that was always my question. Would the coach have enjoyed this?
Listen, I cannot thank you enough. It is an honor to have you here.
Oh,
you have an open invitation on public television.
Oh, and you have an invitation to the show. Come backstage.
You got it.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Medical Center, Berkeley College, TD Bank, Qualcare Inc., a local managed care company covering 750,000 New Jersey residents, the law firm of Gibbons PC, Verizon Communications, and by the Russell Berry Foundation. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger and NJ.com, Everything Jersey, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.